Hi, I'm Tony from Safety Mitts, and I'm just here to show you a little bit about our Zero G workshop trolley system. This has a tool payload of 16 kilos. It's our double arm version. By that we have 860 millimeters of dynamic movement in the arm. So it's a double arm and it's articulated in both areas. We'll come back to that a bit more in a second. What we're doing is just a bit of common practice and good practice with the tool. We're trying to keep the trolley stable. It has lockable nylon wheels. With the outriggers, I tend to try and have the wheels pointing out. Just gives you a bigger footprint. Has 75 kilos of counterweight. We also have the forklift lifting option, and also an eyelet where we can just lift with a jib crane. Nice little sturdy trolley with a bench, a trolley handle and bench here. It's not for actually carrying anything, but it's nice to put nuts and bolts and other bits and pieces on it, maybe a small tool. So before we get started on startup, when you're doing a job, is it basically just going to have a bit of a check, make sure everything's secure, bolts are tight, everything's looking like it's secured. Locking pin is in just here. We have the arm is docked in the gravity latch, the winch is operational, and everything's pretty well secure. One of the critical aspects of using the Zero G arm is making sure that the tool is balanced correctly. Using an old term, this is one we prepared earlier. Basically what you want to do is you want to have the arm so it's pretty much on the horizontal. And then what we have is we have the dynamic movement of the tool. So as you can see, I'm moving this with two fingers, but the dynamic movement is the movement of the arm in the vertical. So we have 860 millimeters of vertical dynamic travel with this arm. And to get maximum efficiency in tool balancing, so you can have the least amount of energy exerted to move the tool, is just to make sure that this is always on the horizontal. So what you want to try and do is make sure that when you've got your workpiece that you're on, and you could be on a dozer and you're changing out cutting edges, what you want to make sure that is that you have this at the horizontal, and if you've got a row of bolts that you're working on, the master's at the right height, or the arm is at the right height, using the master winch, which is basically this one here, clockwise up, counterclockwise down. So what we have here, so the other thing is that, just to be sure of, if you don't have the arm sufficiently set up so it's working on the horizontal, what you'll find is that the arm, if you don't have enough spring tension, will be at the bottom, which will result in you having to lift the tool. Not good on efficiency. And the other thing is that if you don't have enough spring tension, or if you have, too much spring tension, what will happen is that the arm will be operating in the high range. Now, in some cases when you're working in the high range, this is good if you have a reach of a particular application where you're trying to, say, undo some bolts that are a bit higher up. It's okay to have it in the upper range, but best to be trying to make sure that this is on the horizontal all the time. And basically, if you have a look at the knobs that we have here, you've got the minus symbol, of course, that's reducing the spring tension, so by turning counterclockwise. And the other, conversely, is if you turn clockwise, you're going to increase the spring tension. But typically the best thing that you want to do is that when you let go of this tool, in typical, it'll follow gravity, of course, if floors are a little bit out of alignment, but typically if you let it go, it's going to stay on the horizontal. If you were to let it go when it went up, you have too much spring tension. Conversely, if you let it go and it goes to the bottom, you don't have enough. So here we are again. This is the Safety Mitts Zero G workshop trolley system. It's a double arm version, so it's the 16 kilo tool payload system. And for more information, if you look at our website, which is safetymitts.com, or check out the other videos that we have listed on our YouTube channel. Thanks very much for looking.